I gotta say, everybody was very supportive of you being absent with your sickness. They were all like, "We miss Lloyd." He, oh, I think you just did. I think we are. Hello there, JB. Got a bunch of people here today. Hello, Owen, Lars, Jerome, Happy Cloud. We'll put a happy little cloud over there. Ray, Grant. What's that? Really? Oh, you're okay. Hold on. Can you guys hear him at all? Here, let me pause the music. Say some more stuff.
I'm saying
Oh,
with a
okay.
raspy voice. My voice is raspy.
Oh, you're so quiet. Hold on a sec.
Sure.
Let me make sure. No, that's the broadcast stream mix. Okay. Looks like we're going to do the show without Lloyd again. Say some more stuff.
F1 2020 trailer.
All right. I can't, I'm not sure about this. This is so weird because when you're talking, I just barely see it register in OBS, but in Reaper, it's full volume.
Maybe the pop out is using a different audio channel.
The pop out?
The
Oh,
Discord pop out.
okay. Um,
I know there's a volume control when you on the pop out button, or the pop out window rather. At the bottom left, there's a little volume thing. I don't know what that does.
I think I just muted it. I can't unmute it now. I hit mute and now I can't unmute. What in the hell? I can't hear you. You can stop trying to talk. It's Is it muted? Oh, it's still muted. All right. Talk now.
Check 1 2 1 2 1 2. Testing 1 2 3.
You're super quiet on here. In OBS. And OBS is using my broadcast stream mix.
Make sure that your audio devices didn't get all messed up when the new Discord got updated.
Stupid Discord. Chat mic. Chat. Okay. I, input volume is me. Output volume I'll turn. No, that's already at 100%. I can make it louder. But the thing is that making it louder shouldn't actually do anything because in Reaper when you talk it is full volume. It is the same volume as me. It's just in OBS.
Weird. And so in Reaper, you're using chat mic as the input for me?
The input for you is GoXLR chat L / GoXLR chat R. Because I use the stereo mix because Anchor is on stereo.
Right.
But on reset chat mic volumes on GoXLR. I mean, I did. Minimize. Say some more stuff.
Testing 1 2 3. Hello.
Here's the thing is the only way that it's coming through when you talk is when it goes through my microphone.
Because your speakers are picking it up.
Well, no, but
Or the mic is picking up your speakers rather.
right. And so when you talk and I muted my microphone, nothing at all came through for you on OBS. So this seems to be a problem with OBS.
Or check your routing to make sure that chat is going to broadcast StreamX in the GoXLR software.
Well, oh, you're right. That's exactly what the hell? Why would that stop?
That's bizarre.
Yeah, there you go. I fixed it, or that fixed it. But why would that have changed? There's no reason for that to change.
Maybe the Stream Deck integration, somehow you toggled one of the things, not on purpose, but maybe their buttons thing screwed up, and instead of switching your profile, it toggled one of your routing table things, because that's one of the other options for the Stream Deck integration.
I don't know. It seems asinine to me. I just switched over. I can't hear anything. Let me get my headphones on.
Sure. All right.
Well, I oh my God, that's loud. I did have actually GoXLR updated yesterday. Yeah, I remember now. GoXLR updated yesterday. So let me get this back the way that we had it, where it was awesome. I got to go to guest cam.
Boom, 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 boom. Everyone's seeing your buying turnips message.
Yeah, I know. Why can't I do this? There we go. Look at that beautiful guy.
Alrighty.
We fixed it.
Yay. So I'm gonna have lots of cough breaks, everybody. So if I'm mid sentence and I go, don't worry. I'm fine. I just need to cough.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was confusing.
That's so bizarre.
Well, no, it's not that bizarre. I can't believe I forgot that GoXLR updated yesterday.
But still, it's one of those things where even on an update, you wouldn't think it would change what your profile settings are.
All right. Well, that scared me.
People said they saw the beautiful Mario behind me, so I had to hit the sound.
That's right. Is that on your GoXLR or is that on your Stream Deck?
It's on my GoXLR.
Oh. Do you ever use the Stream Deck soundboard?
I wanted to. I need a GoXLR XL or whatever the big one is if I want to start doing that. I don't have any more buttons. Like I have pages of folders, and I just have nowhere else to put things.
Oh, you mean the Stream Deck XL or what the Pro?
Oh yeah,
sorry,
Stream Deck Pro or XL or whatever it's called. Yeah, I have a mini and I have a regular one, and I use both of them. And I guess I need an XL or the big one if I want to start doing sounds. I have so many buttons. It's crazy. Plus I have a keyboard that also works with Stream Deck, so I can do things like turn my lights on and off just by hitting a button on my keyboard, which is crazy. And I still need more buttons. Never enough buttons.
Never enough buttons. Yeah, you know what I want the Stream Deck XL most for? Is the bass is better.
Yeah, right. You don't have to fiddle with the little plastic tab things if you accidentally knock it.
I also have been thinking about moving my GoXLR mixer to a different location on my desk, but that would require me to redo all of my cable management. And because like right now the wires come right to the GoXLR and there's no play.
Nice.
All right, so that works. And that works. I have like 2 more things to fix real quick.
Okay, no
and then
problem.
We can get started.
There, that's a lot quieter, everybody. Sorry, I'm not going to scare you guys anymore. I saved
God.
my profile with it at the right volume.
Until GoXLR updates again.
Exactly, right? Oh, I lost all my other buttons on this profile. Wow, weird. Hey, thanks, everybody. I appreciate. I received as we were saying as we were coming in. No one could probably hear me though. I received so many emails and messages and Discord messages and Twitter messages and all that stuff. You folks are all fantastic, and I was feeling the love. So I appreciate each and every one of you for dropping me a line when I wasn't here last week. I do appreciate it.
Do I need to resend you my video, or did that turn off?
It did turn off. You can if you want, if you can. If not, that works too. Whatever.
Share.
Here we go.
All right. So now everybody knows that I was selling turnips earlier, and I yelled at Lloyd.
Damn it.
Or
Leave me
buying-
alone. I'm
buying
buying
turnips.
turnips. I'm buying turnips. Mine are, when you were doing that, I booted up my game and I was running around, and she's selling turnips for 107 in my place. So I don't even know if I'm going to buy this week.
Well, like I said, I'm sure. Well, I mean, go to the Discord afterwards. I'm sure that somebody in there has them cheap. I got them for 93. I bought a full inventory's worth.
Nice. I have every part of my house built. I haven't paid off the final loan, but everything's built, and I have like $1 million in the bank. So I don't know if I really need to play the stock market, even though having more money is better than less money.
Keep in mind, now you're at. Have you done the KK Slider concert yet?
Yeah. I've done everything. I've beaten the game.
Now you have to rearrange everything.
Yeah.
You know, move all of the buildings around, and that costs 50 grand a piece to move a building.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I moved many of them already, and I've built like 8 inclines, and built, I think I have like 5 or 6 bridges. So yeah, I've spent a huge pile of bells making my place look nice. And then I visit a whole bunch of other people's villages, and I have a terrible village, and I have to redo it.
Because I went to go buy the turnips on somebody's island this morning, and I went there and I was like, my island sucks.
Well, we did the crossing animals on Friday night. So Sarah was on, and she was over, and I was showing her all the stuff that I did on my island. And then she's like, okay, after the show, you have to come see mine. And she has like every part of her map has been touched by something with decorations and all this other stuff. And I'm like, oh, you son of a gun. Now I have to make mine look nice.
Where do people find the time for that, honestly?
I don't know. I think she hasn't been at work for a little while, so I think that's kind of what she spends her days doing. So I get that. But yeah, it's yikes. I need more time to make my island look like lived in, not just me kind of in a rich area, and then all the other houses are just kind of like grouped together in like the slum corner of the island. I'm a slumlord.
I love that. Oh man. All right, man. Do you want to make an MP3?
Yeah, let's do this.
All right, let's pause the music.
Buy a ColecoVision and a
rid of
Coleco
that.
game cartridge by November 15th. We'll send you a free Cabbage Patch Kid by Christmas.
All right, I'm going to hit record.
Awesome.
Oh, I got to start that over. Stop. Welcome back to Stadiacast, everybody. I'm Bill. That's Lloyd. What's going on, Lloyd?
Not much. Hey, everybody, I'm back. Thanks for all the well wishes and everything, everybody. I do appreciate the love that you all sent out into the world when I wasn't here last week.
I did my best to get rid of him, but he came back no matter what. He said, you cannot keep me from my people. And
That's right.
So he's back, and it's good because as well as I think last episode went, it's going to go better this time because I don't have to talk the entire time. So Lloyd, before we get started, we want to let everybody know that we record the show live on Sunday mornings, 10 a.m. Eastern, over at youtube.com/Stadiacast.
Yep.
And if you want to directly support the show, it's super, super easy to do. If you're here with us live, use the super chat feature. That way, your message gets highlighted and it makes it easier for us to respond. We respond to each and every super chat at the end of the show. We call that section Crowdplay, where we talk about what you want us to talk about. And you can also, if you are not here live, and if you're here live, you can join and become a member, which is a super awesome way to support the show. And if you want to know more about that on our YouTube channel, just click on that join button right below, down near the subscribe button. Click on that join button to find out more. Lloyd?
Yes.
What have you been playing, man?
I've been playing the Get Healthy game. I had just the worst cold, sore throat and everything. So I didn't play any video games other than I played Animal Crossing in bed. I have a nice little Genki portable dock, so I was able to do that from the bedroom. But I've played almost no Stadia in the last week and a half, just because I just wasn't healthy enough to do it. Yesterday I was like, hey, I gotta play some games. I gotta do the Stadia thing. So I jumped in and I played I played, I don't know, 30 minutes of Doom. And actually that's not entirely true. A little bit earlier last weekend, I played about I think I played about an hour of the new Borderlands content that came out. So it's like Love and Tentacles. So it's the new DLC thing, and I was having so much fun with that. That was great. And then yesterday I played about I don't know, half hour, 10 minutes, whatever it was, of Doom Eternal. And I want to beat Doom Eternal, so I got to jump in and I want to do that. I want to do that today. I want to be like Bill and finish that game, because it's a game that I love very much, and I want to finish and get into some of the multiplayer stuff.
How close do you think you are?
I'm past. So there's that thing that we talked about where you kill the boss and then something else happens.
Yeah.
And then you go to the wintry kind of area. I'm at the end of the wintry area.
Oh, I think you still got quite a long ways to go.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm about maybe 60% through the content, so I got a long ways left to go.
I have to say that game's awesome, and I think that I was working on writing a review for Doom, but I think what would be better is if Lloyd, gets on the ball instead of laying around all the time, plays the damn game, and he and I do another discussion, kind of like we did with what game did we do that with?
With Spitlings.
Spitlings. No, is that what we did?
I wasn't.
No, that's where we played it. It was Borderlands.
It was Borderlands. That's right.
So we'll do some kind of review. Watch this space. But Lloyd, you said you played a little bit of the Day of the Tentacle or whatever it is in Borderlands.
Yeah.
Can you tell me anything about that? Because I haven't touched Borderlands since Doom came out, so I'm curious.
So that's the second DLC pack. There was the one where you're going to the Handsome Jackpot, and this one is Love and Tentacles. So it's the two the gun company owner dudes. It's their wedding, and they are going to another planet because that's where they want to have their ceremony. And it turns out that you're on basically like a horror planet. So there's a bunch of people that are possessed. They're like zombies. There's a bunch of new characters. There's a bunch of new enemies that you can take on. They've increased the level limit by 3 again, and they've also added a bunch of different weapons and things like that. So they continue to update and iterate on the game, and they make it really, really good. It's I'm loving the new weapons. If you log into the game soon, you get a bunch of stuff for free that they kind of threw out for everybody because of what's going on in the world. It's like, here's a weapon, here's some skins, here's all this other stuff. I think that expires in like a week or something, so you should probably check that out as soon as you can. But I just love it. Like the little story beats that you go through in the DLC are just as fun to me as the bigger story beats in the main campaign. Everything is just compressed down a little bit more. But yeah, all the characters, all the guns are great. I have this amazing exotic weapon or whatever whatever the orange ones are called. I can't remember if I think it's legendary, where it's a machine gun that has a spinning barrel, and it fires basically 2 bullets at a time almost, because the barrel's spinning, and it has a perk because it's anointed, that every time that I hit a headshot I regain 2 bullets, so I never run out of I never run out of ammo, and I already have the perk on my character where I constantly am regenerating ammo, so I can basically hold down the button and never run out of ammo on this gun. And then I've because of the level increase, I now have the final perk on 2 of the skill trees, and that perk, I can't remember what it's called. When I hit someone and hit them with a bullet, there's a 20% chance that there's an explosion. When the bullet hits them, it explodes for an additional 75% of bullet damage. So this weapon fires so fast; it fires 10. I think I was trying to figure it out with my son. I think it's like 10 shots a second or something is what is happening with this gun. So 75% of the time, or is it 75%? Yeah, I think it's 75% of the time when a bullet hits this person, it explodes, which does damage to other people that are around them. And then I'm constantly regenning ammo. It's like, this is fun. Like, that's what I love Borderlands about. It's all the crazy guns. It's all of the just amazing perks and things that come into play in the game. And you make a build that is so totally broken and overpowered. And you're like, I'm the only one that has ever done this. I beat the game, and I've broken the game, and this is amazing. But no, that's what the game is designed to be. It's designed to have these specific builds that are just completely overpowered, and just so much fun. So yeah, if you have the season pass, definitely check this one out. It's a hell of a lot of fun.
How would you say it feels going back and forth between Doom and Borderlands, because they handle so differently?
Yeah.
Do you feel like as you go back and forth that you are falling on your face more often because you kind of get used to the flow of one, and then you go into the other and you can't like make that transition that easily? You took
I don't think so.
break.
Yeah, I don't think so. I'm not having the same problems that I had with Doom, where I'm always trying to like reload and ADS when I was playing Doom, and I'm just like, there's no aim down sights button, there's no reload button. What's happening here? I think it's because I've played so much Borderlands in my day that going back to Borderlands isn't an issue at all. But we'll see when I play more Doom tonight. Today we'll see if I'm like ripping out my hair because I keep trying to ADS when I'm going into a new room.
That's awesome. So I've been playing. Saying been playing is not really 100% accurate. I would say I've played some more of Lost Words. Mostly I've been focusing on playing tons of Final Fantasy VII on my PS4. A stupid amount of Animal Crossing. I rolled credits on that. But on Stadia, I've been playing a little bit of Lost Words. I'm on chapter 6. I don't know how many chapters there are, but I feel like I'm getting close to the end. And it is the kind of game where I feel like I can play a chapter and then I need to take a break from that game for like 4 days because it is just too sad. It is like the saddest game, and it's so well done. The voice acting is fantastic. I've now run into I've interacted with more characters, so now there's other voice actors in it. The art is wonderful, and I feel like I'm getting close to the end, but man, that game is a tearjerker. And you know what I think that would be amazing for this game? Or not for this game, but what they could do with this game is, I feel like it would be amazing if they made a live action movie that showed the story of the girl writing in the notebook, and then in this game they transition back and forth between the girl writing in her notebook and then the story that she's writing, but then do the story that she's writing as like the animated thing, and transition between those two, like the live action and the animated. I think that would be fantastic, especially if they had the actor of the girl who is playing whatever character in the live action of the the star character, if she also did the voice in the animated version of, well, in my game, her name is Georgia, but other people can have a different name for the main character. But this is a game that should be a movie, and it is a wonderful story. But man, it is very, very sad, and I'm enjoying it though. It's there's some catharsis to it, I think. By the way, everybody who's sending in their super chats, we will respond to those at the end. Thank you very much for sending those in. You ready to talk about the news, Lloyd?
Yeah, let's jump right into that.
All right. So my contact at Google sent me an email, and they said, Bill, do you have any questions for us? And I said, well, what's going on with the interview? Because we were supposed to interview John Justice again. And they said, well, of course, things have gone sideways, and right now I'm paraphrasing. I'm not quoting them, but the world is a different place than when we were talking last. So the interview, we don't have anybody for interviews right now. And I said, well, okay, that's perfectly fair.
Sure.
And then they were like, do you have any other questions? So I reached out to Lloyd and I said, hey, let's get a couple questions together. Lloyd sent me some questions. I put some questions and I emailed them to her, and she said, all right, these are great questions. However, there's only one that I can answer. And I was like, all right, well, that's fine, because, there are things that they are obviously not going to announce or say until they are absolutely ready to announce or say these things. And just because we're asking about them and they don't have an answer doesn't mean that they don't have an answer. It means that they don't have an answer that they're willing to share at this point because they have a certain set of plans that they're doing.
Right.
I think that is perfectly fair. So their response was, great questions. The only one I can answer is to say what was announced on Wednesday, April 8th, was the rollout of the free version of Stadia, just called Stadia, not Base, with a promotional 2 months of Pro for free. And so I was like, all right. So, my brain says, well, does that mean that Stadia Base is still coming, or is it here and you're just changing what you're calling it? So I sent another follow-up email. I said, should we no longer refer to Stadia Base, or is that still a thing? It's just not this thing. And they replied, Base is no longer a thing. It's just Stadia. So
awesome. All
of those times when we said Stadia Base, Stadia Base, Stadia Base, guess what? It's gone. There is no Stadia Base. It's just Stadia, and it's here. This is it is fully out. And I was worried when Stadia, like Lloyd and I talked about this many times. We were worried that when the full version came out and everybody could have access to it, that we would see queues. Lloyd, have you seen any queues?
No queues at all.
I haven't seen any queues. And I asked people in our community Discord, which you can join over at runjumpstomp.com/Discord. And I said, has anybody seen any queues? And nobody responded that they had seen any queues. In fact, one person said, is that a thing on Stadia? So I haven't seen any queues. And here I have a question for the people who are in chat. There's around 130 people in chat right now. Have any of you seen any queues? Has anybody gone to play Stadia and not been able to because they're like, oh, sorry, it's full? So Rock is saying, why have you asked questions when they can't answer any? Well, maybe I asked the wrong questions. And to the people who are asking, Bill, what were the questions that they declined to answer? I will keep those to myself, I think. Because I don't want to, like, I don't want to burn any bridges with them. Matt, like everybody in chat is saying no queues, nobody has queues. This is awesome. I can't believe that there are no queues. This right now is the worst possible time to make Stadia available to everybody, because everybody is at home, and it seems to have worked just fine. Yeah.
It worked. We talked about this for a while, saying there's going to be issues when people get access to it and there's free games that you can play. They're going to jump in and it's going to be overloaded. Well, Google has enough hardware out there. This is amazing. So you guys heard it here first. There's no more base. Base is done. Base is not a thing anymore. There's Stadia, and then there's an additional pro subscription that you can add on top of Stadia. So again, Google has taken what they've gone out there with marketing and everything, and they said, okay, this is confusing, and they've distilled it down again to just the core. So it's Stadia, and then there's a pro subscription you can add on top of it. So perfectly clear. Awesome that they're doing that. And Stadia's here, everybody. This is Stadia. Everyone that wants to get Stadia can get Stadia right now. There's no wait times, there's no buddy passes, there's no nothing. If you want to get on and get your games and play them, you can do that right now. So this is pretty fantastic.
Andre Sosa in chat makes a point. He says, but everybody's on pro right now, right? Which makes people may assume that, okay, well, we're all on pro. So therefore, when we're not on pro, maybe those people will see a queue. But the thing is if everybody's on pro and everybody's able to use it and there's no queues right now, they're not going to artificially put queues in the game in order, or in the system, in order to convince people to switch over to pro or to subscribe to pro, because that would only hurt them. There's no way that they're going to do that. Now, does that mean that we will never see queues? No, I don't think that that's true. I think at some point we may see queues, especially if
Cyberpunk comes out.
Right, when a game like Cyberpunk comes out. But Stadia is now here. Everybody has access to it. You can now simply buy games and play them on any crappy Chromebook. You can play Destiny 2, Borderlands 2 or 3. It's not 2. Borderlands 3, Doom Eternal. Like these AAA insane titles that require a very, very powerful system to run. You can play it on any Chromebook. And if you pick up a Chromecast and a controller, then you can play it on your TV. This is now the cheapest console that's how I look at it. It is the cheapest console.
Yeah, it's a free console. You're not paying for anything. It's pretty fantastic. You're just buying the games to play on it. It's great. There was a question in the chat room. I lost who said it, but they said, what happens after the 2 months run out? Google's already covered that. We've covered it. What happens is if your pro subscription runs out, any pro games that you've claimed are locked. You can't play them anymore. But any games that you've bought with real cash money or credit, you can play those forever. They're owned games. It's not like you have to pay the pro subscription to play the games that you've bought. As soon as those 2 months disappear, if you bought Borderlands at 50% off, you can still play Borderlands when you're no longer a pro. So no worries there.
And if you take a couple of months off and you come back and you resubscribe to Pro, you get all of those games back that you had before that you claimed under Pro. You can play them again.
Exactly. So it's fantastic. This is great news. Stadia's here. It didn't fall over. I'm seeing all sorts of positive stuff. I did some searching as soon as Google made the announcement, like 4 days after that announcement. So most people that wanted to get in were able to get in, get their two months free. And I did a Twitter search, and it was primarily positive things saying, I can't believe this is working. It works great. I'm playing on my laptop on Wi-Fi. This is amazing. And of course you have the haters saying, oh, this is stupid. Why would I pay money to play a game when I could just put it on my console or on PC? People are using that as a way to say PC Master Race stuff again, which is fine. We expected that. But more than anything else, there was a lot of positive tweets and messages from people that said, I was a skeptic. I didn't think this would work. I've tried it for myself. I don't know what I was talking about for the last few months. It was pretty awesome to kind of read all those messages, because with, I don't know, the last 6 months of all the hate and all the articles saying Stadia is bound to fail, it was good to see a bunch of real people talking about how awesome Stadia is.
Andy in chat says not everyone is on Pro, and I suppose that might be true. That's true. Anybody who has decided not to claim the 2 free months of Pro. But why wouldn't you? Like, why wouldn't you claim the 2 free months of Pro? I can't understand why. Like, what would be a good reason to avoid it other than you don't want free stuff?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you had a buddy pass, if you claimed a buddy pass and you got your 1 month of Pro and then that lapsed, you can go get your 2 months for free. I believe buddy passes are even allowed to do that. So yeah, everyone should be on Pro if you really want to play those games for free.
And I'll hit one more question and then we'll move on to the next story. But Mr. Lurt says, can you buy games after the 2-month free trial is out? As far as the way I understand it is that here's what they said again. April 8th was the rollout of the free version of Stadia, just called Stadia, with a promotional 2 months of Pro for free. So it is now out, and anybody who has an account, and anybody can get an account, can now buy games and continue to play them if they buy them. So you can now buy Doom Eternal and play that game with no hardware investment at all. Maybe you want to buy a controller for your Chromebook or something, but no real hardware investment. You can now buy Doom Eternal and play it. So I think that's very, very awesome. Anyway, go ahead.
We had one more question that's super quick.
That's fine.
It was Victor Del Mastro saying, if I sign up for free, can I use a buddy pass afterwards? And no, what a buddy pass was just here's a key to the door. You can get in, you can play Stadia right now. If you already have a Stadia account, you've used the need for buddy pass has already gone by because you've already created your Stadia account.
And by the way, I want to say thank you to everybody who shared their buddy passes with us. We gave out over 100 buddy passes to people who were interested in it. And I think that you helped a lot of people get the access to Stadia that otherwise would not have been able to because they didn't know anybody. And B, you helped us out as well, because I know that there were people who would show up hoping for a buddy pass. So thank you very much to everybody who did that. All right, let's take a look at, I was actually talking to a developer. The developer said, just leave me anonymous because they're not authorized to speak for their company. Not like they're trying to do anything wrong or anything, but they just said, I'm not sure what I'm allowed to say. So, keep things on the down low. So I'm going to be very, very vague with what I say. And this has to do with next-gen hardware. As we approach the end of the year, we've got the PS5 maybe coming. We've got the Xbox Series X maybe coming, all depending on delays that may happen due to COVID-19. But next-gen hardware, when that stuff was announced, of course... All right, I've said this 1,000 times, and I'm going to say it one more time because I'm a repeater. Stadia made a huge mistake when they came out and they were like, this is how many teraflops we can do. Because then immediately everybody started comparing numbers, and numbers is not a game that you should worry about. I've seen a lot of people say things about the Series X having higher numbers than the PS5, but then other developers are saying things like, well, actually, if you look at what the PS5 can do, even though it's got lower numbers, it's a more powerful console. So numbers don't really tell the whole story, and Google, they stepped on their own neck by coming out with, I think it was 12.1 or whatever teraflops it was.
Yep.
And then, of course, Series X and PS5 announced their hardware specs, and their hardware specs are higher than what Google Stadia currently has. All right, that's fair. The thing that people tend to forget is that when we get the next generation of Google Stadia blades, that is not an investment that I need to make. I don't have to go out and buy new hardware like I do. Like if right now, I actually considered buying an Xbox One X because it's only $300. That is a ridiculously good price. However, the Xbox One X or the Xbox Series X is coming at the end of the year, and so it's not really the best choice for me. So for me to go out and buy Stadia when the next version comes out, that's not a purchase I have to make. That's a purchase that Google makes, and I just get to reap the rewards. That's another reason I'm excited for Stadia. And a lot of people are wondering, when is Gen 2 Stadia going to be available? Now, I don't have an answer for that. But the developer that I was talking to, they said some devs already have access to Gen 2 Stadia hardware, and they have had it for at least a few weeks now. Does that surprise you, Lloyd, that the devs already have their hands on this stuff?
Not really. I've also chatted with a couple developers that are in the industry, and they said, yeah, Gen 2's out there already if you request access to it. So it makes sense. Like if you are, say, Nintendo and you're making the Nintendo Switch, well, as soon as the Switch is being made and sent out the door, you're working on whatever the next thing is. You're putting iterations together. The good thing with what Google's doing is, since their blades are fully backwards compatible, they can work on the hardware. They can ramp up the GPUs. They can get all the stuff working, and they can install it into a data center, and then people can immediately start playing with it. It's different than any other game development thing, where if you have a PlayStation 4 dev kit and Sony starts talking about the PlayStation 5, well, you can't turn your PS4 dev kit into a PS5 just by putting something up in the cloud. So Google's in a really great place to have fast iteration on all these different hardware builds that they're going to be working on over the next series of years. So yeah, this is great. This is great to see. I don't know which game is going to be the first one that's going to support Gen 2. I would be surprised if it wasn't something like Cyberpunk or something like that. But it's pretty awesome to hear that Google is believing so much in this platform. All the people online saying, Stadia's dead, rip Stadia. Well, obviously not, if they're putting Generation 2 hardware already into the cloud for people to use.
Well, not only that, it's not like they had to go and request it either. They were working on optimizing their game for Gen 1. And then they came in, and suddenly they had there was an increase in the what's the word? Their performance. The performance was a little bit better, and they were like, "What in the hell happened?" And so they reached out and they said, "Oh, you're running on Gen 2 now," and they were like, "Oh, okay." So that is kind of crazy. And here's a quote that they said that I could, like, we kind of went back and forth about what can I say exactly, because I wanted to make sure I'm not overhyping it, because you don't want to be that guy. All right. And B, I didn't want to get anybody in trouble. So we were talking back and forth, and they said Gen 2 runs our games better than the Xbox Series X. So this is obviously a developer who also is working on an Xbox Series X dev kit for their game. And the same game is running better on Stadia Gen 2 than it was on Xbox Series X. So does that mean it's more powerful? I'm going to tell you the same thing I say every time. It doesn't matter if it's more powerful. It just matters if the game is fun or not. But I know that there's a lot of people who are like, man, I don't know if Stadia is going to be able to compete with next-gen systems. And I think it probably will. I think it probably will be able to.
Yeah.
Here's something else they said. They've decided that they're not going to be optimizing their game for Gen 1. So they stopped focusing on trying to get it to run super well on Gen 1, and they're focusing on Gen 2. Now, the games will run on Gen 1, but games that are built for Gen 1 will get a performance increase when running on Gen 2. So here's what I assume will happen is devs will say, this is our target, put us on Gen 2 hardware or put us on Gen 3 hardware. And so if I'm playing a game like Lost Words, I'll be playing that on Gen 1 hardware. If I'm playing a game like, we'll say the next Doom More Eternal, that'll be running on Gen 3 hardware. And if I'm playing a game on, like maybe Borderlands 3 will re-optimize their game, or they'll say, hey, we were running at 4K 30. We would like to be running at 4K 60. Can we get on that Gen 2 hardware? Bam. Suddenly we've got, right now we don't have access to Gen 2. But when Gen 2 comes out, I bet you we'll see games like Borderlands suddenly be more playable.
Yeah. Yeah, and we've already seen that with just optimizations. Like that's the beauty of Stadia is you don't see the patches. They just happen. Like when Stadia launched and we were playing Destiny, it looked great, but 3 months after Stadia launched, Destiny looked better and performed better. So now we're just going to get that going on with other games when they start using newer hardware. There's some questions in the chat room. Are we going to have to pay more to work on Gen 2? No, it's just hardware. It's Google updating the hardware that's in the cloud. We don't have to pay for it. That's the beauty of Stadia. You don't have to buy a console, and you don't have to upgrade it whenever there's a performance a boost that is needed. That just happens like blindly behind the scenes. It's hidden from you. You just know that your games look pretty darn beautiful.
So here's the trap that everybody's going to fall into now that we've told people this. Is there's going to be people out there who are running around saying Stadia is the most powerful thing. Just relax, people. Relax. Here's the big takeaway from this. The games that are going to be able to run on an Xbox Series X or a PS5 are going to be running on Stadia as well. And they're going to run just as well, if not better. And you don't have to buy that next upgrade. That's the thing that you should take away. Don't take away that it's got that maybe this has more teraflops than that, or that this has more of this than that. Stop comparing things all of the time and just realize that now you don't have to buy the most expensive hardware in order to enjoy the most power hungry games. And that's the thing that I hope people take away from that.
Exactly. Yeah. It's fantastic.
Speaking of updates, Stadia did post an update, and this is something I didn't anticipate. They told us this was 1.45 is the version of Stadia that we're running on right now, and they said that we've rolled out some new features on Stadia. And yes, Lloyd, that's a great idea. They said we've rolled out some new features on Stadia. Check out the patch notes below. So now we have access to 5.1 surround sound on the web. Cool. I know that there's people out there who are excited about that. I could not care less because I never play on the web. I know Lloyd does, but do you have a surround sound system on your computer?
No. I guess if you had surround sound headphones, that would be useful. If you had like a nice set of Astros or whatever.
I mean, these are surround sound headphones, but I always leave it off because it just sounds echoey to me.
Sure. Yeah, no, I don't have surround sound on my computer.
All right. There's now an on-screen keyboard. So now you'll see an on-screen keyboard on web when you have a gamepad connected to Stadia. So if you want to connect your gamepad to Stadia and type in things with your thumbs, you can, or you can just reach over and type on your keyboard. I'm not really sure how exciting that is either. And then it says mobile connection notifications. It says you'll see notifications for your connection quality while playing on mobile devices. And all right, I think that's good too. So maybe you're playing and it's like, hey, your connection is spotty. It'll pop up and give you a notification letting you know about that. So if you're playing the game and suddenly it doesn't look very good, you'll understand the reason behind that. Is there anything that I'm missing that's important in this 1.45 update, Lloyd?
I don't think so. This is just continuing to roll out UI and other performance boosts. I hope that at some point in the near future, maybe by summer, the web and the mobile and the Chromecast have the exact same user interface with all the exact same features. Like having feature parity across everything is important so that people don't get confused when you say, just go to this and click on your icon and do this other thing. And it's like, well, I can't. There's no way I can get up there. There's no way I can bring up that menu. So hopefully that'll happen as we get closer to summer.
All right. Well, let's hit this next story before we take a break. Lloyd, you want to tackle this one?
Sure. So, you want to talk about F1, or are we talking about the games?
450?
Yeah. So there was a big brouhaha on Twitter and the Stadia Reddit and a bunch of Discords this past week over the reporting that Stadia has 450 games in development, and everyone's like, "Oh my God!" So their numbers of games coming this year are so low because there's 450 games in development. Not necessarily. What that means is that there was an interview done with Phil Harrison and what was it, Business Insider? Bill, I think that's
Reuters. I think
Reuters. That's what it was.
Or Reuters
And
reported it. And I'm not sure if Business Insider was the one that actually had the interview or not.
Had the interview. Okay. So yeah, there was an interview with Reuters where Phil basically said, yeah, we have 450 games in development. So what that means is that I'm a developer. I request developer access. I start working on a game. I have to create that game ID in the system. So somewhere in their database, they know that I'm working on a game. So there's 450 of those. Whether those 450 will come to the console at some point, probably not. Though some of them will just fall off. They were ideas that never panned out. But I would say the vast majority will come onto Stadia. Probably not in 2020, but over 2020, 2021, 2022. And what that shows, more important than the number of, oh my God, there's so many games, is it shows that this is a robust platform where you have a lot of people working on it, a lot of developers kind of kicking the tires a little bit to see what it can do. And hopefully what this means is that there's going to be a lot of developers that know how the platform works, and they're going to take whatever big games coming to PlayStation 5, port it over. Whatever the big games coming to Xbox Series X is being ported over. All the Nintendo Switch games, all the PC games are going to get ported over, because that's kind of a great thing. Having more games on the system is going to be fantastic for us.
So do you think, I mean, we've got 450 games in development for Stadia over the next few years. Do you think that Google made a mistake by bringing Stadia out when it did, or should they have waited until they had a larger stack of games to launch with?
I think, like, from a strategy standpoint, I think when it came out, it was kind of the perfect time, because it beat Xbox Cloud, it beat Amazon, it beat all of the other competitors that were kind of talking about cloud streaming. So they got out there, they got some really great games. There was some very, very slow times where there wasn't a lot of stuff coming out, but it was really great to see that the platform was out, the platform worked, and this is a thing that people can buy into immediately. So I think what they did was a valid way of doing it. There's probably a million different ways that they could have rolled this out, but coming out when they did, I don't think hurt them, or won't have hurt them in the long run. There's a lot of negative articles, but those have all kind of dried up, and now people are talking about how awesome the platform is performing, even though it's open to the world and everybody can get in and play free for 2 months.
Oh, I will say that there's still a lot of negative stuff out there from, content creators. And I think
Sure.
because they're still getting those clicks from being super negative. And I think, and look, not everybody who says something negative is doing it for the clicks. There are things about Stadia that people don't like, and that's perfectly valid opinions. But it does work, and it works really, really well. I think the problem with Stadia mostly is it comes down to this idea that I might have a different experience than you because I happen to have better internet, or
Exactly.
a TV that I set the TV to the right setting or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's something that's a hurdle that Google is going to have to get over. But guess what? Xbox or xCloud is going to have to get over that. Project, what would they call it? Project, not Titan. Triumph, something. Tempo. Yeah, my brain worked.
Got it.
Project Tempo from Amazon is going to have that same hurdle to get over. But as more of these cloud streaming services come out, people are going to understand this better, and I think that the negativity will go by the wayside. I think that Google got a lot of extra negativity because they're the first as well. And that might not seem fair, but that's just the way it happened to go. All right.
Exactly.
Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about another racing game. Stick around, everybody.
Now bring the arcade experience home, because your vision is our vision. ColecoVision.
All right, Lloyd, you want to tell people all about this racing game? You're a racing guy, right? You like racing games?
Not so much. I like arcadey stuff. I'm not big into the sim racing. I'm not a huge F1 fan, but I know a lot of my friends that play games are huge F1 fans, and this was very exciting to them. So be the 11th team on the grid in F1 2020. They're pleased to announce that F1 2020, the official video game of the 2020 FIA Formula One World Championship, will release on Friday, July 10th, 2020 for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC, and for the first time, Google Stadia. So what this game is it is sim F1 racing, and there's a lot of people that are really into F1 and getting into kind of like the weeds, the really kind of like super granular details and like downforces and drag and all this other stuff that happens in the F1 cars. The F1 series of games looks photoreal in some instances. A buddy of mine does he does sim racing online, so they'll do like a 12-hour race, him and his team, and they basically do they race for 12 hours.
Oh my
straight.
God.
Between the four of them, they do shifts and things like that in a bunch of different games. So this was highly exciting to them because this means you don't have to buy a crazy PC to play an F1 game that looks like this. So they're super excited about it. But for me, not my kind of game. But the awesome thing about Stadia is, if it is your type of game, you click buy and you're playing it within like 30 seconds. It's not like any other console in the world, which is a beautiful thing.
You know, a buddy of mine, he had received, or I told him about the 2 free months, and so he decided to try it out. And he went to he signed up. He said it took me 3 minutes to sign up or whatever. And then he was looking through the games for a couple of minutes trying to decide which one. And then he looked at it and he was like, play. Like he saw the play button and he thought that it was like a video. He was like, oh, this is how I can watch it. I don't want to watch the video of the game. But I don't see how to start the game. I guess I'll watch the video. So he clicked it, and then he was playing the game, and he was like, oh, that's how. Like he was kind of blown away that it was 30 seconds and he was playing almost instantaneously, which is very, very cool.
It's ridiculous. And just imagine like that type of experience is going to happen soon on YouTube, where there's a play button at the end of an ad. Like that is kind of the power and the just the magic of Stadia. So it's really cool that you're able to have that kind of interaction with your buddy, and that happened for them. But that's exactly what it's like here. Like if you're a big fan of F1 and you like racing games, you jump in, you buy F1, you're playing it immediately, and then it's like, hey, if I sign up for Pro, I can claim Grid, and now I can have 2 really amazing looking racing games on a platform that I don't have to buy a 2080 Ti and spend like $1,200 for a new video card to make it look as good as it can. I could just play it in the cloud and then not have to worry about having a streaming PC and a gaming PC if I want to stream this to the world. Because that's the big issue that a lot of these sim racers run into, is they need a second PC to stream what they're playing, because every ounce of power is being used by the game engine to make everything look real on their systems. So this is great.
Yeah, it's funny you bring up like the streaming and the gaming together. Minecraft just updated the beta so that you could try
RTX,
ray tracing, and I was like, okay, well, I have a ray tracing capable graphics card, so I'm going to try it out. And I downloaded it and I installed it. And of course, if you've ever played Minecraft on the PC, it starts out in this little tiny window, right? So I was like, all right, well, it looked cool, looked really nice. I hit full screen, and then my computer was like, excuse me, what do you think you're doing, sir? And I was like, oh my God, my computer could not handle, and I do not have a weak computer. I don't have a weak computer at all. This is a pretty beefy PC. And I've got I might have the lowest possible card that can handle RTX, but I have the 2060, and it should be able to do RTX, and it could, until I hit go full screen, and of course that means 4K, and my computer was just like, I don't think so, sir. Because my plan was I'm going to record myself playing some so people can see what it looks like. Yeah, that's not happening on my system because I just can't do it. And that's one of the benefits of Stadia is, you don't have to worry about like how powerful your machine is if you want to play these games, which is really cool. Now, there's a correction that I need to make.
Okay.
Earlier I said Stadia was first in a streaming game, and Jerome said actually NVIDIA was first, but gets almost no recognition. You're right. NVIDIA came before Stadia. You are correct. But
Gaikai was out there.
Yeah, Gaikai was out there before that, and OnLive was out there before
And
that.
PlayStation Now.
Right. There's all of these different things out there. I'm saying, you're not wrong, but I was also wrong, and but NVIDIA was also not first, so we keep that in mind. All right,
Sure.
So we've covered all of the news sections or news stories for today, and now we've got Crowdplay, and we got a bunch of people who sent in super chats. So let's take a look at those first. First off, I want to thank the following people who a couple of days ago became new members or remembered. Remembered?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's really the right word. But
That is a great way to put it, though.
Yeah.
They remembered to remember up.
Dwemer, Robbie Man, Tom O'Fallon, Ruben, I'm not going to pronounce that because I can't say it right, and Ray Sherrod all became members 2 days ago, so thank you guys very much for that. JB sent in a $5 super chat and said it is a tea fund for Lloyd. So Lloyd, Lloyd's a coffee guy. I'm the tea guy. Do you drink tea?
I'm a tea guy. Oh yeah, I drink tea
okay.
all the time. I'm a morning coffee guy and then tea for the rest of the day guy.
Oh, okay. I understand now. Well, now you got he just bought you a nice tea, an expensive tea because it's $5.
JB.
Sukotronic sent in a super chat like they do every single week. Thank you very much with no message, but that's cool. Thank you very much, Sukotronic. Ray Sherrod sent in a $10 super chat saying, I love my Stadia community. Stadia strong. And James MC sent in a $2 super chat saying, you guys, there's more. You guys are awesome. Goblin Lord sent in a super chat with no message. Matthew Hadfield sent in a $5 super chat, and he said, my wife started playing Tomb Raider. She doesn't really play video games. Stadia's barrier to entry was so low, it can even bring in non-gamers. And I think that's, like, I've been saying forever that that's what Stadia should be focusing on, is trying to grow the gaming market instead of trying to cannibalize the current gaming market. And they're I think that they are positioned perfectly to do that, but their marketing needs to be fixed if they're going to do that. Go ahead, Lloyd.
Yeah, there's so many non-gamers that play Candy Crush and other phone games. If you can convert some of those people over to playing more full-featured games, I think you can develop a lot of budding gamers there by having it just so easy to play, especially once more mobile phones are supported and iOS phones are supported. I think you're going to get a lot of the community is just going to be people that used to be mobile game players that are now playing beefier games because it's just as easy to play on your phone.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And there's people out there who say that those people who are playing games on their phone like Candy Crush or whatever, those aren't gamers. And to anybody who says that, I'd completely disagree with you. Just because they're not playing the kind of games that you like doesn't mean that they're not gamers. So
and gatekeeping is never a good thing. Like why make people feel bad for doing the thing you love? I never understood that.
I agree with Lloyd 100%, and that's why we do a show together. Anthony Telkett sent in a $5 super chat. He said, I think Google should give anyone who has Pro the ability to buy the free games that they received once Pro runs out, like a one-time $20 charge. Well, right now, I get what you're saying. Right now, you can buy the games. Like if you claimed, we'll say Farming Simulator 2019. If you claim that game, you can also buy it. There's nothing that will stop you from buying it, and then you will have it even if you don't have Pro. But what I think Anthony is saying is that we should be able to get it at a discount. What do you think about that idea, Lloyd? Getting these Pro games that you have been playing for free as part of your Pro subscription, you should also get a discount on those games if you've claimed them.
I don't know if I agree with that, because you could just pay $10 and then you get access to all of them again. So that's kind of the do that 2 months in a row and you've paid your $20 and you've been able to play them for 2 months. I think what Google's giving us with Pro is really, really generous. Like the number of games that you get now when you sign up for Pro, or free, especially free if you're a new user, you get 9 games, and there's some really amazing titles that you get access to. So I don't think them adding any more features like that is something that's going to happen in the near future, just because of how generous it is already.
Yeah, and I agree that Pro is a fantastic deal. I do understand why people would be like, well, I'm paying for Pro, so now let me pay a little bit more to get that game. You got to remember that Google needs to get paid, or this is going to fall apart. The developers need to get paid. Let me ask you a question, Lloyd. Do you assume that Google pays for these games? Like when I get guilt for as included with my Pro membership, do you assume that Google had to write a check to the developer so the developer is getting money? I assume that they are, but do you?
Yeah, they're not getting $20 every time someone downloads their game, but they're getting here, we're going to give you X number of dollars for the next month, for having your game on our service for the next month. And a developer can either accept that, like $250K or whatever that deal is. Say it's $250K. They look at that and they're like, okay, to get that, we'd have to sell 10,000 copies of the game. What's the likelihood of that happening? Okay, Google's deal is a better deal for us, and they sign on that. And I'm sure every developer, every game is a separate deal, and we'll never know any of the details of any of them because no one wants to let those industry secrets out. But yeah, they're definitely getting a big chunk of money, and making it worth their while to release a game for essentially free.
Yeah. And also thank you to Giuseppe DeRiso for becoming a member. We have a couple of tweets that people sent to us using the Stadiacast hashtag on Twitter. If you want to get your thoughts on the show throughout the week, you can send in hashtag Stadiacast on Twitter, and we may or may not respond to it, depending on if we think it would make a good discussion point. Roger Ling sent in one. They said you can now link your account. Oh, man, I got excited when I saw this. You can now link your account to your Elder Scrolls Online profile. Have you done this yet, Lloyd?
I have not. I'm gonna have to do that. I'm really excited about Elder Scrolls on Stadia. As I said, I've played it on PlayStation and I didn't get very far in it because that was me sitting in front of one space, one TV, one console, fighting with my son who wants to play other games. If I could have it on any system that I'm sitting down in front, that's a very exciting thing for me.
If you look at the screenshot that Roger sent in, hold on, that's not a screenshot. Okay, can I zoom in on this? Here we go. So if you look at this screenshot, it says you can link your Twitch account. Now, why would you link your Twitch account? You would link your Twitch account because they have things called drops. So if you're watching somebody on Twitch, that's something that I really hope that Stadia includes, is drops. But basically, if you're watching somebody play a game on Twitch, you might get loot in that game as a reward for watching somebody play on Twitch. It's really cool. I watch a friend of mine stream on Twitch, Jebro Unity, and every once in a while, when I log in on Elder Scrolls Online, I'll have like a little loot box that I can open, and it has some stuff in it, and that's always
cool.
fun. But
that's the other thing they added to Borderlands. Sorry to interrupt you. Borderlands 3 on Stadia now supports the EchoCast extension, so you can go set it up in Borderlands 3 on Stadia. And if you're broadcasting to say Twitch or whatever, and you have that extension installed, people watching you can get drops and legendary items and things like that. I meant to mention that earlier, but that's really cool.
So listen here, YouTube gaming, get on it. All right.
Definitely.
Twitch has all of these really cool features like that. And YouTube gaming is just like, you can watch us play. And that's cool. But where are features like that? That needs to be built in.
Yep.
But the point I was trying to make before is we got Xbox One on here. We've got Steam on here. We've got PS on here. We've got Stadia on here. I don't want anybody to go out there and think, oh, if I have Xbox One and Steam and PlayStation and Stadia, I can play the same character on every single one of those.
Yeah.
Right now, you cannot play the same character on all of the platforms. If you have a character on Steam, that character is trapped on Steam. If you have a character on Xbox, that character is trapped on Xbox, and the same with PlayStation. And we don't know for sure what's happening with Stadia. Now, I remember reading something along the lines of that the Stadia people would be playing with the PC people, but I don't know that for sure. And
Right.
that makes me that would make me very, very happy if that's what they ended up doing. But it's a chance that there is a chance that it will be, siloed off like Bethesda or ZeniMax has done with all of the other platforms that you can play this game on. So that's just something to keep in mind.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We got another tweet. This one comes from LG Ribeiro, and he says, today, PS4 released a 471 megabyte firmware update, which means it's quicker to sign up for Stadia and play 9 games for free than to play any game on your owned PS4. And I just thought that was funny. That's true. That is a true thing. You can now play these games while you're waiting for that download. And 471 megabytes isn't really that big of a patch, but I have seen massive patches on PlayStation. And I have to say, of all of the places where I have to download things, PlayStation is the slowest. It is the slowest out of everything else. I don't understand why. Did you ever play Final Fantasy 14, Lloyd?
A little bit.
Where did you play that? PC or PlayStation?
I played it at a friend's house on PC.
Oh, so you didn't even experience the
ridiculousness. It was beautiful. It was beautiful for me. It just worked. It was great.
Yeah, because your friend had to do all the work. I have downloaded that game 4 times. Once on my PC,
Wow.
Once on my PlayStation, once on my son's PlayStation, once on my son's PC. And it is a huge game. And not only is the PlayStation the worst place to download it, but downloading anything from Square Enix is a disaster. It is so slow. And you don't have to worry about that. And especially, I've been playing lots of Final Fantasy VII remake. I really wish it were on Stadia. That's where I would play it if it were. But Square Enix is really, they've knocked that one out of the park. All right.
Nice.
Anything else that you want to add before we sum up the show?
I don't think so. I just linked my Stadia account to my Elder Scrolls Online account, so I'm all ready. Bring us the game there, ZeniMax.
I don't think we're going to hear anything about that until June.
Yeah, I'm sad, but I think you're right.
I honestly, they said E3, but now that there's no E3, it might be even later, which is too bad. Although I will say this, Bungie said that in this environment, the COVID-19 ridiculousness, where nobody can go to work, the place that it's easiest to develop on right now is Stadia, because you don't have dev kits to worry about. You just connect to the dev kit in the cloud. And so maybe Google Stadia stuff won't have as many delays, or we'll say this, cloud development won't have as many delays as traditional console delays. And we know that there's going to be a lot of games that are delayed later on this year. All right. Follow the show on Twitter at Stadiacast. Follow me on Twitter at RunJumpStomp. Follow Lloyd at Dasme. That's DASME. And use that hashtag Stadiacast so that we can find your tweets before the show. Join the Stadiacast Discord over at runjumpstomp.com/Discord. And while you're joining Discords, Lloyd has an awesome Discord over there at rezd.tv/Discord. That's rezd.tv/Discord. The music you're hearing right now is Subterranean Kamikaze by Zircon. Check out their stuff at zirconstudios.bandcamp.com. Lloyd, see you next week.
See you next week, everybody. Take it easy, folks.
I don't know why the music just stopped. Save. That was weird.
Oh
Oh my god, it's back now. What the hell? Go XLR? That's irritating. I'll have to fix that, but no big deal.
Great. All right, everybody. Thanks for coming out. This is a hell of a lot of fun. Great to talk to so many of you folks yet again. Nice seeing some friendly names in the chat.
Frank says Stadia Plus extension taught, please. I don't use it and I won't use it. Not because I don't trust that particular person, but I don't trust very many people. So it's a third-party thing, and on top of that, I only play on my Chromecast. I never play because I have a Chromecast on every screen in my house. So why would I ever bother connecting it or doing it on PC?
Yeah. I used it once, and then I looked at what it has access to, and I'm just like, I don't want to do it. Not that I don't trust the people that have released it. Just not something that I tend to use myself. And plus, it was annoying. At one point, there was like a little graphical bug that was happening when I was full screening a game, and I'm just like, I gotta uninstall this. I know they fixed that, or maybe it was just a weird bug that was happening, but it was more hassle than it was worth for me.
Yeah. Charles Aran says YouTube also needs a raid feature. All right. Yeah, Lloyd and I are both Twitch streamers. You've been raided before, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you get raided, and the little graphs that they email you after you're done with your stream?
Yeah.
Does your graph just goes like this, right? Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And so while it might be a cool thing to raid somebody, most of the time, the people who are watching just leave after you've raided. And so I've started just not even bothering to raid people unless it is somebody that I really, really like to watch and they're playing a game that I was recently playing or something like that, or they're playing a game that we've been talking about a lot lately. Then I might raid somebody. But don't, if you're a streamer and you're like, oh man, I wish people would raid me, don't worry about it. It doesn't really help. And maybe that says something about me, as I'm not entertaining enough to keep people engaged. But, we got hundreds of people coming to our streams, and people have been asking, oh, I almost forgot. People have been asking me to do my open mics on Thursdays. Those may happen again. All right? Nice. It just depends on how busy I am. Nice. But we'll see. Anyway.
CMR in the chat room. You should sing the outro song from now on.
Now I don't even know what it sounds like. Yeah, you got it.
I could do that.
That's too funny.
Awesome. All right, folks. This was a slice. Again, as I said, thanks for all of the well wishes and love. It wasn't COVID, everybody, so no worries there. But it was. It looked like it was going to be the way that my all my symptoms started. So I'm very, very thankful that I didn't have to go to emergency or anything like that. So thanks everybody for all the well wishes and all the tweets and messages and emails and Discord messages and stuff. I appreciated it all, each and every one.
All right, you out of here, man?
I am out of here. I got to go spend some time with the family, and then I'm going to play some Doom.
That's right. Go play some Doom. See you, Lloyd.
All right, later.
Bye. All right, one last thing before I get out of here is the guys at Super Stadia Saturday they're doing another Super Stadia Saturday, and I wanted to, Lloyd and I were gonna participate, but there was two, it got filled up fast, so there's a lot of content that you guys are going to be able to watch on Super Stadia Saturday. Watch my Twitter account. I'll tweet it out when it starts, and I'll give you guys more details on that. I forgot to include it in the show last week, and I forgot to include it in the show this week, and I feel really bad about that. So Super Stadia Saturday, it's like a bunch of Stadia content creators that are all doing I think it's a 19-hour stream or something like that. And I'll let you guys know more. Just follow me on Twitter. Anyway, I'll see you around. Everybody stay safe, stay rad, be awesome. Bye-bye.